Hey guys, it's Sinem and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review on the new Anastasia Luminous Foundation, and I am super excited to be testing this out today. As you can see, I have it on right now, but you guys will have to see if I like it or not. And also I did a full day wear test again, so I do check in with you guys tonight to see how it wore. You guys will see my thoughts on this foundation and of course a review and demo. I did do one for the new FENTY Hydrating Foundation, and you guys will have to check that out if you haven't already. I'll leave it down below or up here, and that one was insane. It was shocking. I'm not going to say if it was good or bad. I mean, you guys will see anyway, but I will leave that one down below. So I have high hopes for this one today. Also, I do have dry skin, just to let you know. So this is a luminous foundation, so it should, fingers crossed, work on dry skin. So if you guys want to see my thoughts and opinions and see how this foundation wears on dry skin, and to see my opinion on this foundation, then please keep on watching. This is what the box looks like, and it comes in this almost mirrored silver packaging component, and I actually really like it. It's different. It says foundation on it, which I know a lot of people didn't like, but I actually really like the packaging. It does remind me of NARS's Radiant Longwear Foundation or something like that. I'll go and grab it just to compare the two, but it definitely has a NARS feeling packaging to it. So this is the NARS packaging, and as you can see, it's pretty much identical. If I put them side by side, literally the height is exactly the same. It's glass, it's a black lid, it's just absolutely everything about it is pretty much the same. The only difference is that the NARS has more of a silicone rubbery feel to it. If you guys also want a comparison between the two foundations, I can definitely do that. I can do one side with the NARS and one side with the Anastasia, just to test, because they are both a radiant foundation. So if you do want to see like a foundation battle between these two, just comment down below or give this video a thumbs up, and I'll know for sure to do that for you guys. But now we are just going to jump straight into the Anastasia one. The shade I have here is 120W, and this is for very fair skin with a warm undertone. So that is me right there. And we're going to be testing it out. I'm just going to read about the claims. So this foundation is a luminous foundation. It is a water resistant liquid foundation that creates a luminous natural finish. It also has a long wearing medium coverage, yet it still feels weightless and looks ultra fresh. It is available in 50 natural shades, and it is a lightweight foundation that blurs any imperfections, including discoloration. It also leaves the complexion free of flashback or oxidization. This foundation retails for $38 in the US and £43 in the UK, which I was really shocked about, because usually foundations or makeup in general in the US is more expensive than the UK. So I absolutely love the pump, and I'm just going to take some on the back of my hand. I'm going to do one side with a brush and one side with a sponge like I normally do. And this seems like a good match for me. So now we have a close-up. I'm just going to see. I think that's a good match. Yeah, that's a pretty good match to me. So if you are maybe a NC20 by MAC, this would be a good one for you. So going into my favorite foundation brush, this is the Morphe E7 brush, and I'm just going to be taking that and working this in. So let's see how it's going to look. I'm also not wearing a primer just because I want to test it without primer, because sometimes primers can interfere with the wear and finish of the foundation. So every time I do a foundation review, I do like to test it without primer. So far it's looking good. It's giving me a nice sheen. Coverage is definitely a medium. So as you guys can see, this is what one layer is looking like with the brush, and I actually really like it. It's giving me a nice finish. It's almost like it's not so luminous, but it's not so matte either. So it's definitely giving me a bit of a sheen, and the coverage is pretty good. It's definitely a medium, like a full medium, but I think I would do a second layer to get it up to a full coverage. Now, before this side dries down, I'm going to be using a sponge, and my favorite sponge as usual is the Tati Lashes sponge. I still love my beauty blender, but I got this when I met Jeffree Star when I went to the masterclass, and this was in the goodie bag, and since then I've been loving it. So I just want to see how this is going to work in with a sponge. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but I feel like you get less coverage using a sponge And I was kind of expecting that because it is a luminous foundation. It is a little bit more liquidy, so it's going to soak up in the sponge more. I definitely feel like you get more full coverage with a brush as opposed to this side, because I can see right here it hasn't covered too much. I have a little scar right there, and especially up here is still red as well. I know it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but I'm going to go in with a second layer on both sides. So I'll just do 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, and then 1, 2, 3. I definitely feel like you can build this foundation as well. This is definitely giving me more of a full coverage now, and I actually really like this foundation, like really like it. So as you can see, it's giving me a nice sheen, a nice luminous finish. Definitely still medium. You can still see a little bit of my scars peeking through, but nonetheless, like, this is a really pretty overall foundation. And yeah, I mean, I can't wait to finish off the rest of my makeup and see how this wears throughout the day. I'm not going to be setting my face with powder because I want you guys to see throughout the day how it wears without setting it with powder, just to see if it lives up to it being long lasting, because it did say it was long lasting. So we're going to see if that sheen stays put throughout the day as well. So I'm not going to put any powder. The only powder I'm going to use today is just for under the eyes to set my concealer, but I'm literally just going to put it right there. So I'm not even going to put it anywhere else. So I'll be back in a little bit to show you what the rest of my makeup looks like, and then I'll be back later tonight to show you guys the finish. So it is around 4 p.m. I forgot to mention earlier that it was 10:30 in the morning when I filmed the video, and so far my skin is actually looking really flawless. So I'm going to zoom you guys in and see what we're working with, but so far, as you can tell, it's actually doing a pretty good job of the coverage, and it just doesn't look dry. It just gives me a little bit of a sheen, and it definitely looks flawless in my opinion. So especially that I didn't set this with powder, which is crazy. So I will zoom you in and we'll see what we're working with. So it's definitely dried down, but still, as you can see, it still has that nice sheen. It hasn't really rubbed off anywhere yet, which is good. I like how it's making my skin look. It hasn't piled up on my nose like the Fenty one did. Definitely, like, it's giving me a glow, as you can see. So as you guys can see, it looks pretty flawless to me. It actually held up, especially that it's 4 p.m. now, and it hasn't done that weird thing on my nose that the Fenty one did. So I will be coming back around probably 8 p.m. and showing you guys again another little close-up, and of course it'll be different lighting, so we can see what it will look like around that time. But for now, it actually looks pretty good. So I'm checking in, and it is around 8 p.m. right now, and I'm excited to see how this foundation has held up. So I'm going to zoom you guys in and let's get a closer look. It's come up a tiny bit on my nose, a little bit dry around this area, but overall I think it looks pretty good. Obviously it has come off a little bit, but it has definitely held up. It's obviously a tiny bit dry in certain areas, which is normal for me anyway because I do have dry skin, but it was nothing like the Fenty one. I mean, like, overall you can see it looks pretty flawless to me, so I do actually really like it. In terms of it holding up to its luminosity, not too much. It still has maybe a tiny bit of a sheen. Overall, I mean, I think it's a great foundation. Is it worth £43? I'm not sure, but it definitely is a good foundation to try out if you are looking for a new one. So as you can see, I love this foundation, and it definitely wore really well, and the coverage is amazing. It's medium to full coverage. It works on dry skin, thank God. And I just absolutely love the finish of it, the luminous finish, because a lot of foundations obviously have a matte finish, but this literally looks beautiful on the skin. I absolutely love it. So without powder as well, it definitely did stay put, and I do like how it looks even without powder, which is great because that means I can still wear it without caking on so much makeup. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you want to see next from me. If you want to see a review and comparison between these two foundations, the NARS and Anastasia, I can definitely do that for you. But other than that, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys all in my next video.